Guitar Ghoul hit. Funny, it's attributed to NS. Tennis ball. Maybe this comes from a midway attraction. Maybe it's a clue to the Guitar Ghoul's hideout. This is the hammer for the strongman's bell. Perhaps the Guitar Ghoul hid something important in there. This is a brochure for a circus sideshow.
The sausages have been revealed. I'm gonna talk over this part because you're just gonna hear Velma repeat herself a million times, because I am bad at these. I just kind of blindly guess. Some of them, the connection between what she's saying and what the item actually is like completely just beyond me. I do think that it also requires you may have to actually like pay attention to the comments she makes about the clues when you show them to her to remember like the significance of each one, like the fact that the fucking like the poster and the tape, like what's on the tapes. I don't know.
Relationship to the Guitar Ghoul is. Guess what, Scooby? According to the name on this sheet music, Nikki wrote the Guitar Ghoul's biggest hit, Shinkies. We solved the mystery. Is about to be singing a new tune because this mystery is almost solved.
So, you kids think that you can catch me? Think again. The Guitar Ghoul is unstoppable. Be warned, my music is always loud, and the hits never stop.
He's got to be broadcasting from the House of Mirrors. Let's go.
I like how that cutscene implies that Fred and the whole gang are all gonna go into the Hall of Mirrors, or House of Mirrors, or whatever it's called, to confront the Guitar Ghoul, but nope, it's just Scooby. He's gonna do everything, you fuckers. Anyway, and we're not even going in there yet, because we have some unfinished business. And you know what else? You know what other game? This game just reminds me of every other game that I've ever played, and it goes for most games. Games are similar, like I said last time. What do you want me to fucking do? This area reminds me of the theme park. I think it's a theme park in Rocket Robot on Wheels, a game that I have not actually played, but I have watched a few different playthroughs of, not all the way through, and I think I would be interested in trying it. I know that it's like a physics-based platformer, and I typically don't do too well with stuff like that, because that kind of thing where it's about, you know, the exact right amount of force needed to do a certain thing, it's just a lot of trial and error to me, and it's not a particularly fun prospect for a game to just do over and over again. Yeah, the hidden pickle. I think finding the ingredients for the food is one of my favorite parts of this game, now that I think about it. The Scooby snacks are fun, but I wish that they worked more like points. I don't like that you collect 100 of them to get back medals, and, like, to me it makes more sense for the food to be the health point, or maybe just Scooby snack boxes are health points. I think that would be easier, and then have the Scooby snacks be points, and I don't know, do some extra stuff. The points don't have to fucking do anything. They just be a thing that you collect and you get the big number and it's fun. And then you collect the food to make the ingredients that gives you more medals. Like, I think that would work fine. But regardless, but I'm a big collectible guy, but they do need to have some sort of point, even if it is just being a collectible and like going toward your total. But whatever. yeah, we're about ready to go into the Hall of Mirrors in a second, which is the boss battle, if you didn't catch that, or if you couldn't guess that that's what the last thing in this level is, because that's the last thing in all of them. All of the, like, except for the very last one, all the boss battles in this game took me kind of by surprise when I was playing through it for the first time. Like, I didn't know. I went into it being like, alright, it's time for another level, and then it was a boss, and I was like, oh, fuck. And that's why I now, like, I get a new medal every time before I go into a new boss battle, just to be safe. Because the first time I played through this game, both times, in this one and the Chinatown level, I just had, like, gotten the shit kicked out of me in the last level. I hadn't really replenished my health very much. And then I was like, alright, let's start the next one. And then it was a boss battle, and I got my little puppy ass beat. Anyway, I am not vividly remembering what the final boss of, well, either the final boss or the last boss of the next world is, but I just from my gut feeling, this is my least favorite one. I think just because I think this is annoying, like having to first of all, these things are suspended very strangely. Like, you'll see me miss them a lot because they're like, you can move in and out of 3D space here, but it's not very clear where exactly they are all the time to me. Maybe that's just a me thing, but just the perspective of all of this is strange. There's a million panels, and then he's constantly doing all this lightning shit, and he has that thing where he does the, like, sonic boom wave or whatever. And I'm sure there is a discernible pattern to it, but it's not that decipherable to me. And I don't know, it's just not a particularly interesting boss battle. I mean, I'm just not a fan of boss battles in general, honestly. Like, I mean, some of them are cool, and I'm not saying that just like, oh, boss battles are bad. Games shouldn't have them. I'm just saying, like, almost never are they my favorite part of a game, or like one of my favorite parts of the game to play. It's always been the actual levels that are, even if they're just point A to point B, that are about, like, I like things you can explore, I like when you can collect stuff. I don't know, bosses are very self-contained, there's usually, like, a very specific thing you have to do, and if it's annoying or tedious, then you just have to do an annoying or tedious thing, like, 10 times, and that's not particularly fun. I don't know, but, I mean, like I said, I feel like that's a really big blanket statement, just say I don't like boss battles, but they're never my favorite part of the game to play. But it's mostly because a lot of the games that I play that have boss battles have very repetitive and simplistic boss battles. So I'm sure and I know that there are games, I don't know what they are, and I'd welcome any recommendations of them if they're games that you think that I would like based on my taste. Games that have an amount of variety to, not only a variety to the kinds of boss fights and kinds of bosses, but in the approaches that you can take in the bosses, and I don't know, that aren't just like tight, confined areas that, but you can actually kind of decide what to do. I don't know, I never finished it, but that was one of the main sources of appeal for me for Shadow of the Colossus, was just like, yeah, there are, from what I can remember, there are certain ways that certain colossi have to be taken down, I think, but for the most part, you can just they're just there, and you just go up to them and you figure out how you want to kill them. And I always liked that. I don't know, if you're gonna do a boss battle, or, some kind of thing like a boss battle, I think it should be, like, I'm not saying it should be like that. I'm just saying I prefer boss battles that have that sort of variety. So now that I've made that point 14 times and lost all of my fucking health, I think you only have to hit him 3 times though. He really does not have much of a threshold for these spiders hitting him. And yeah, this is this is another reason why I don't really like this boss battle, is because it results in the most obvious reveal ever.
And Deaf Potato was never a real success. He blamed his failure on the Guitar Ghoul, whom he saw as a rival.
Wait, so like you blamed yourself?
Not quite. He was offered a way to destroy the Guitar Ghoul, literally from the inside. All he needed was this costume. Scooby?
Mummer.
Of course. Who gave you that costume, Mr. Wiener?
They didn't offer their name. Just a chance for revenge.
By sabotaging the Guitar Ghoul's popular theme park.
I would have gotten away with it, too, if it hadn't been for you meddling kids.
So, who's the real ghoul?
And why is he hiding?
I like how this, like... I mean, I guess I don't know how old he is, Alvin Wiener, but it is funny that he looks like a young, sort of counterculture hippie guy, and he's like, "You meddling kids."
I wanted to share my music, not my life. So I created the Guitar Ghoul disguise. Perhaps this could remain our little secret, huh?
Like our lips are sealed.
Thanks, I appreciate it. In exchange, I've got some information which you might find interesting.
And I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Scooby's face is strange in this game. Yeah, I don't know, it just looks weird. But yeah, I think I did pretty okay. Missed 5 ingredients, only 1 clue. I don't know where it is. I don't think at this juncture I'm going to go back and do that, like get the other ones. You know, I'm sure I'll play through this game again sometime, and maybe at that point I'll, you know, try to do a 100% run, but this is fine for now. Anyway, it's museum time.
They sure are doing a lot of renovations here.
Well, as long as the cafeteria's open.
From what Nikki heard, that place where Jed worked, Monstrous Fright and Magic, provided most of the new interactive exhibits here.
All right, gang. Let's split up and look for clues.
That's exactly what we're gonna do. I forget what I was gonna say. Oh, I was gonna say something about the prevalence of like rock music in Scooby-Doo stuff, like I suppose the whole time, but specifically in like the 90s, 2000s, and the direct-to-video movies, because the Witch's Ghost had the Hex Girls, and then who remind me a lot, just in terms of the sound of their band and like attitude and whatnot, remind me of the Bettys from Phineas and Ferb, who do the song "Ready for the Bettys." Then you have Zombie Island has the stupid, like, I was gonna say like Blink-182 sounding music, but that's completely inaccurate. And then there's the one with Kiss. Is it Kiss in one? I've seen a little bit of that one, and it actually kind of sucked. Like, I wasn't a big fan of that one. But anyway, here we have a haunted museum. This is the last actual, like, full world of this game, if you can believe it. Only got a few actual levels left, and then another boss, and then another little level, and another boss, and then bada boom, bada bing. We've Scoobied the Doo. We've opened the door, gotten on the floor, and proceeded to walk the dinosaur. That was a topical joke because we are in a museum that has dinosaurs in it. But yeah, this is interesting, this guy. I mean, I guess it's not Jed, but whoever it is, I forget. I actually forget who the fucking villain of this game is. But, I guess he's like selling costumes and effects made with mubber to just like various people who have vendettas against like things that were impeding their profit. 'Cause I get, like, if I remember correctly, the Chinatown people the person who Maggie Z.
Maybe we can find him there.
But wait, no, because so Chinatown was, they did the VFX so more tourists would come, and then Mubber Guy left that message, and Maggie Z was fake, and that was who Zentuo was. So I guess he was just fucking with Chinatown. But then this was a guy was jealous about the Guitar Ghoul's popularity, and so he used it to sabotage as an offer for revenge. And I don't remember what happens with this one. But this is certainly strange. Well, we'll continue unraveling this epic mystery in the next episode of Scooby-Doo Unmasked.